Well, welcome everybody to Bish's RV. My name is Josh, the RV nerd, and behind us, the 360 rear living Cedar Creek. This is the big brother, the stretch limousine version of the 311 Cedar Creek. Because if you glance at them, you're like, they're the exact same floor plan. Close. They're very similar, certainly, but this is the big brother where everything's a little bit more space in the living room, bigger features, more counter space, more cabinet space, more room in the bedroom. They stretch and expand every room and every aspect of this RV to bring you this one. Now, plenty of other big builders make something like this, but very few people build it like Cedar Creek. This is when a lot of brands say aluminum structure, most of the time they mean just the walls. And the walls of this have aluminum studs like every 16 inches on center versus maybe 4 or 5 feet like you find in a lot of laminated big fifth wheels. They have, it's an all aluminum studded floor. It's an all aluminum truss roof. It is a true aluminum superstructure, and as a result of that, they're able to keep the weight a little bit better in check, which means a little bit better cargo capacity for it, because full-timer RV people out there, I'd love it if you left a comment in the video description saying, how much cargo do you think you need to full-time in a fifth wheel? And this one is going to have that, I feel pretty confidently, and maybe then some. They also do some different things, like they do a different thing with their air conditioners that allows them to have a taller ceiling inside in that upper deck. So if you're tall, and you really want a fifth wheel, but you can't find one that fits you, like if you're 6'5" or more, most fifth wheels, frankly, don't fit you in the upper deck. This one is going to fit you with room to spare. We have solar. We have the optional second awning on the face of the slide I'm excited to show you. Heated enclosed belly, radiant barrier, tank heaters, partridge in a pear tree, tire pressure monitoring system, all that stuff and more. It does have a couple hitches in its giddy up. I'm going to try to be fair and point those out. And if you appreciate that kind of approach, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as we go through this video, this is the first time I've seen one of these. Let me know what you like and what would you change given the opportunity. Now, kicking off the camping season for the 2023 models, they have given this a fully facelifted interior decor. The exterior hasn't really changed, but they've lightened and freshened it up in here. And what I love, this looks and feels to me, this is subjective, this looks and feels to me fancier than what it used to without really, you know, changing the cost value. These are just design decor decisions that they're putting in here. And personally, I like them. I also like the fact that if you notice, Cedar Creeks, they're taller in the upper deck. We're going to get to see that, especially in the shower, but they don't taper down toward the back of the RV. They are full height all the way through. Like, look, when you're shopping fifth wheels, look above the slide out and you see how it's the same height all the way across up there. That's just a good indicator of what you're looking for here. Now, 7 foot, I think, walk-in ceilings. So it actually leaves some extra wall space up top here. Now, pardon a couple things. My backpack here, because again, I am off-site. And also the fact that there's going to be maybe some shipping plastic on a couple things right now. This is an RV, I've been told, actually going to Canada. I want to make sure it stays in good shape when it gets there. 23 camping season, notice how they peeled the carpet out of the slide flooring here. And one of the other really cool things here, they're the only ones in this class giving you composite slide flooring. Waterproof slide flooring, guys. God forbid there's a problem. Again, that good bones factor coming in. And because they're not a laminated wall, they're able to put power outlets in the best possible positions, or more household outlets, or all kinds of things. Now, the RV's not without a couple little hiccups, but it's got a lot of great points. That is a power theater recliner, and one of the cool things, the inverter that comes with this as a result of the residential refrigerator will allow you to use that even when you're just on battery power. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping score, but this thing has all of the windows over here on the campsite of the RV. It just looks and feels huge, and the accent lighting above those slides making everything look and feel even bigger. 30,000 BTU dual air standard on all these. And notice it's an 8 foot wide RV. They don't do side stands. Instead, they do a max size, like napping couch, lounging couch, visiting couch, whatever you want to call it right there. 3-seater adult sized sofa seating situation. Again, pardon the little shipping foam on the little safety strap so the TV doesn't jiggle bang all over the place, because one of the things that we're going to get to see in a minute is the fact that that TV can float around a little bit. Now, it looks funny. I know it looks smaller, but that is the exact same power of electric space heating fireplace that you've seen for years. A lot of times people associate the size of that unit with its ability to produce heat. In reality, those two things have very little to do with one another. I am just enamored with that light fixture that they're using on these. I love that. I've been in a couple of these now, and I love it. Now, again, I mentioned this is stretched out a little bit. that extra window that was beside the entry door, the extra wide cabinets, and matching counter space below it on either side of the oven, stove, microwave, whatever you want to call it, with all of the outlets, again, down at the best possible position for easy reach for appliances. That is one of those things. People who are going to spend, if you're going to be seasonal, you're going full-time, something like that, this is a brand you really need to look at, because there's certainly some very pretty fancy looking RVs out there. It is truly those devil in the detail factors, like those closets right there by the entry door, that define these. Man, there's a lot to cover on one of these. Let's actually start right about here with one of their other new features, this little flip up kind of serving station bar, maybe mobile desk type station, because there's some outlets next to it. Now, if you're sitting at that, actually using it in chair mode, it definitely comes right up next to the dining. So you're effectively kind of cutting the RV off. But by virtue of the fact that you can also, just walk around the island to get to the other side, I think you could make something like that work. And maybe that's a case where you're not going to, use it as a full-time office. I don't know. Maybe it works for you. Maybe it doesn't. But I'm just saying the opportunity is there. Now, they've always been cool about giving us, like, the double waste baskets in the kitchen and this new, like, mega pantry-tainment center where the whole thing pivots out. As compared to their prototype, they've now outfitted this with a gas strut so it can hold itself open, so you're not constantly fighting the thing. Previously, it kept wanting to close itself, and you had to kind of, wrestle with it a little bit. And as we saw, that TV can pivot around for some easy viewing, whether you're back here lounging, laying on the sofa, whether you're on the theater seat, or wherever you happen to be. Now, if you look real closely, look at that window. At the very top, you can see how this has day and night shades all the way around. And the boxy things above the window, those are all hardwood. They're putting good materials, good construction into these RVs. Again, that composite slide flooring, that's something I've never seen anybody in a big fifth wheel like this do that before. Overall, it's a simple, oh, they listened! In the prototypes, they were putting their power outlets on the wall, like down by the bottom of the sofa. You couldn't even get to them. So they moved them up here. So maybe now you want to have like your little phone charger or something like this. Yes! And again, that is one of the benefits of this not having a laminated wall. They can very easily add, subtract, move power outlets in cases like that. I'm telling you, they're starting to really get it put together here. And I realized I kind of mentioned these cavities up here, but I didn't really get you a good look at them. I'm going to call this hats and gloves up top. Now it is, my arms are long and I'm stretching up there. Right down past our smart control panel. Down here, a little spot to keep some dog leashes, maybe a coat or a jacket. By the way, can anyone tell me the actual technical difference between a coat and a jacket? Because many of us use the words interchangeably. There actually is a difference between them. And just like in the kitchen, up here in the bathroom, you see that you're also standard from the factory getting the bigger vent fan that you want, not the smaller vent fan that you either just tolerate or, spend money upgrading at some point when maybe you shouldn't necessarily have to do that. Now, the bathroom, this is one of those areas that you're either going to love or go, why did they do that? But remember, this is just a stretched out, bigger version of the 311. This is a floor plan that I think it gives you a lot of space if you want to spend an extended time somewhere, but it's a good kind of floor plan with some great travel access, as we're going to see in a few minutes, in case you do feel like moving around a little bit. But some people are going to say, double sink, that's stupid. Well, one of the nice things is at least they didn't smash the toilet right up next to the countertop. And speaking of toilet, especially when that bathroom door slid, or the shower door slid out of the way, there's all kinds of excellent room in there. Now, speaking of room, they use lower profile air conditioners on the roof, which literally allows them to raise the ceiling on the inside of this in a way that most other manufacturers just literally can't. Now, if I get you inside here, they're using one of these like crazy diamond head, we have all kinds of different water spouts coming at us with the handy little scrub your back handle or whatever the case may be here. And behind that, we actually have some pretty decent linen storage. Now, looking around at all the storage here, the linen space in that cabinet is fantastic. But what is also awesome is the fact that they, under those sinks, like it's a symmetrical vanity, and there's a big time toe kick underneath that. So, if you really do need to like bend right down, put your face right up next to the sink, you have the room to put your feet right up to that thing to do that. You can have a wastebasket, one side, both sides, neither side. I don't care. You live your own life, I suppose. And I love that big floating style mirror. And notice how it's all backlit to beat the band. So if you don't, want to necessarily blind yourself completely, you can just turn on that little indirect light. Now, once again, dual air conditioners, taller ceilings standard on these, fantastic headroom in these. Very few fifth wheels are very friendly to taller people. Let me actually pivot my way around here a little bit, just kind of give you a look at the television, little downward dog anglage going on. That's the technical term there, anglage. By the way, this little, the top on that dresser actually does flip up for storage. And one of the things I want you to understand before we start scanning around, look at our bedroom storage, this is set up for washer and dryer, but it's set up for side-by-side. The way this actually works right here is that chunk of cabinet removes, and you can do a washer dryer side by side. So you maintain all of your 8-foot wide hanging storage above that. You don't have to sacrifice closet space to get a washer dryer put into one of these, which is very cool. You have your choice between queen or king beds, and one of the things with that, if you notice, this stretched out version here in the 360 versus the 311 gives you more room to walk around the bed. Now, looking down under there, it's not a big, giant, full chest storage area due to the type of hydraulic slide system they're using, but it does at least have enough storage for those fold-away guest chairs or the dining table chair, whatever you want to call them, however you want to use them. It's got the extra space for those kinds of things. But notice I said hydraulic slide. Most fifth wheels will give you electric slides upstairs and hydraulics only downstairs. This thing opens and closes very quickly. And speaking of closing the slides in road mode, looking down the bedroom hallway here, I'm actually, standing in the bedroom, so I think it goes without saying that, yeah, you can get up here. We got the bathroom on the right, which is probably one of the most commonly misheard Creedence Clearwater Revival lyrics that you've ever know. Oh, crap! I left my backpack on the table on closed sides. Thankfully, we can get down here and I can access that thing because the stretched out version has an even larger walkway right here, and the refrigerator, doesn't matter which variety of fridge you get, is fully travel accessible. That is cool. So again, this is an RV. It gives you serious space when you get there, but if you do need to travel, if you need to make a travel stop, you can still get to a couple of those core critical things, and I can get to my backpack. Now, one of the biggest things I really, to understand a Cedar Creek, potentially the single most important thing to learn about them, is actually the last thing most people want to learn about RVs, and that's the structure. A lot of people want to go, well, is it a quality RV? But they never really want to know or ask how anything is put together. And that is such a major difference on Cedar Creek RVs. One of the biggest things is this is not a laminated structure. This is a classic big fifth wheel structure where it's aluminum studs instead of wood studs every 16 inches on center at maximum, if not more. That is a major difference here. They're also using a 50% thicker fiberglass, which is a true gel coat. So basically, whether it's your baggage doors, your sidewalls, everything will age and weather the same. So down the line, this thing will look very good, very consistent. It won't have like a yellow entry door and then the rest of your RV looks different. Now up front, you saw that open cavity. That's the base version. You can get this built with generator prep. You can get it built with a generator. This RV was built with neitherator. All enclosed, protected, privatized docking center, enclosed heated belly, radiant barrier, tank heaters, hot cold camp rated, partridge in a pear tree is what I call it. Does all of the things. But this is nice. That heavy 50 amp power cord reel, well, it actually comes with its own powered cord reel so that, you don't got to do the lunky, chunky, heavy lifting. Now over here on the other side of the pass-through on the left, you might notice TV hookups, your central vacuum unit. And did you notice this is like a completely, for lack of a better way to say it, carpetless drop frame basement? And by the way, your propane cooker hooker is right over there. And that's the propane tanks inside that door in that spot, right next to the drunken uncle leash latch in case Uncle Gary ties one on, and you got to tie him onto your aluminum superstructured Cedar Creek. Now, with this being a Big Brother stretched, the stretch limo version of the 311 rear living Cedar Creek, that means that we also have more sidewall, which means we have more patio coverage space. Now it's also bigger, it's heavier, it's more expensive. With every positive thing comes a negative thing to go with it. Down here, we've got our Road Armor suspension package. We have the TPMS system, factory standard, factory included with these. Oh, and I forgot, the double power awning thing. Take a look at this. So it's giving you big time patio coverage, right? But what's cool is the second awning, the one on the face of the slide, that is actually optional. But notice how they're using an armless style awning. So if you're a klutz like me, where the awning's mounted a little bit lower, you're just, you know, not gonna bonk your head into that thing. If you can smack your head into that slide face awning, frankly, I don't know, I feel like you've won something. You should win an award. I don't know. Notice the double sets of taillights on the back. That's a cool towing safety thing to go right along with the TPMS. And of course, backup camera ready. But even if an RV doesn't have a backup camera ready thing, you can hook a backup camera up to one of those marker lights with a little adapter plate that basically costs a little bit of nothing. Every RV is backup camera ready, even if they're not. Now, in my 2023 sneak preview footage, they were flirting with the idea of going to one of those telescopic extension ladder things. I have to verify, because this is the second 23 that I've seen where they haven't done that. And I'm kind of hoping they didn't. I don't mind those telescopic ladders on travel trailers. I actually rather like them. But on a big fifth wheel way up high like that, I like a fixed ladder. That's just my 2 cents. As long as we're looking up there, let's take a look at the whole roof section. And notice again, the low profile air conditioners and factory standard solar on this. Now, the solar is not the kind of solar it's going to like run the fridge, run the air conditioner. It's not that. This is Cedar Creek really is a park destination specialist fifth wheel brand. But it does really help keep the battery topped off. So the next time you go to hit your auto leveling system to get hitched up or open or close the slides or whatever, the battery is going to have juice. It's going to be good to go. And back here on the caboose, we also have a little accessory receiver hitch. Now, it's not a towing hitch. Ironically, what's funny is structurally, these accessory hitches and towing hitches are identical. The only difference is do they put the safety chain hooks and the four-way wiring on them, and what does the lawyer allow them to call them? That's it. That's literally the only difference between them. And if you'd really like to learn and see more about the way this structure's put together, because again, this is different from anything else in this class out there, at this price point especially. The only other people building anything like this are tens of thousands of dollars more with the way they have their structure put together. I will leave you a link to my full factory Cedar Creek video tour in the description. If you're serious about purchasing the last RV you're ever going to own, you want to take a look at that, and you really want to take a look at this brand. I feel very strongly that way. This is something that I think if I were going to truly full-time in a fifth wheel RV, this would be a brand on my personal list. So it carries that little nerd preferred distinction. Maybe that means nothing to you. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm just sharing the information and telling you how I feel about them. Now you let me know how you feel in the comments. Let's compare notes. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.